Democratic Congressman Jared Polis. Do you smoke pot, Congressman? Do you?
No, I never have, no.
Recreationally, you think it's good for people to smoke? You don't have a problem with it?
Oh, well, it's obviously unhealthy, a lot like alcohol or cigarettes. As the president said, it's a vice. It's a question of how we deal with that vice. Do you put people in jail or fine them over it, or do you try to deal with it as a health and education issue?
All right, but there's a difference between decriminalizing it and then making it legal as we have in your state, isn't it?
Well, you know, decriminalization is a gateway to legalization, but frankly, whether it's a civil fine, as many towns in our state of Colorado, many cities have fines for it. It's just a civil penalty. Other towns allow it. I think it's an appropriate discussion at the municipal level, at the county level. I think the federal government ought to get out of it. We got to remove the federal ban.
You know, when Congressman Patrick Kennedy, I'm not particularly too fond, you may know, of his political views, when he had some issues, I defended him on this program, hoped that he would go out and get help. He said these things. He knows more about drugs than I do, so maybe you should hear it from him, and I want you to respond to this.
I think the president needs to speak to his NIH director in charge of drug abuse, Nora Volkow, because the NIDA director, Nora Volkow, would tell the president that, in fact, today's modern genetically modified marijuana, so it's much higher THC levels, far surpass the marijuana the president acknowledges smoking when he was a young person. So he is wrong when he says that it isn't very harmful, because the new marijuana is not the old marijuana. And, of course, the president is making this decision based upon his anecdotal experience. We need to have presidential decisions made based upon public health and the sound science that the federal government is invested in.
Now, he's making his case. He's struggled with substance abuse. Many other people that I know and have met in my life that have struggled with substance abuse start with marijuana and move on to harder drugs. There are competing, studies about it. How do you respond to that if its availability now is going to be all over your state?
You know, Patrick Kennedy's a friend of mine. I don't know why he's trying to speak for the NIH director there. There's some truth in what he says. When it's in the black market, you don't know what's in it. Just as when alcohol was illegal in the 1920s, moonshine killed people because it was tainted. There's no question that on the illegal black market, they're selling all sorts of things that are laced with marijuana. Who knows what it is? In a regulated marketplace like we have with alcohol today, the product can be a lot safer. And is marijuana dangerous? Absolutely. The dangers are comparable to alcohol, which is fully legal in this country.
I'm not sure if I agree with the dangers, because when you smoke pot, you get high. Do you drink beer? I drink beer.
I have drank beer, yes.
All right, so if you drink, I can drink a beer or two, and I don't really feel anything, right? But you can't smoke a joint and not feel something.
Look, I represent a district that has a couple colleges, Colorado State University, University of Colorado Boulder. Yeah. Every year, tragically, kids die from alcohol overdose. 1, 2, 3 years.
But you didn't answer my question. I said you can drink a beer. You didn't answer my question. I said you can drink a beer and you can not get high. If you smoke pot, you will get high.
Look, you can use anything in moderation or anything in excess. Now you're talking about how much they use it.
If you smoke any marijuana, you're going to get high. You can drink a beer and with dinner, or have a glass of wine with dinner, and you're not going to feel anything.
So the question is, what do you want? Do you want police arrest people for it, or do you want to deal with it through an honest dialogue and discussion?
I didn't say that. I'm not making the case for that, but I think recreational legalization is going to open a door, and I do believe, conflicting studies for sure, that it is a gateway drug. Let me play for you something.